Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lily. I am a 25-year-old zero-based cash budgeter and stuffer up in Maine. I have been doing the budget by paycheck method of cash budgeting for 4 years now, and this system has provided me with the tools to pay down debt and to purchase my home that I now live in with my boyfriend and our 3 dogs. And we do all things budgeting over here, so if any of that sounds like content that may interest you, I sincerely hope that you consider hitting that subscribe button and sending some support my way. But happy Money Monday, everyone. Kicking off the week with the right start. That whole sentence did not make sense. So, kicking off on the right foot. Or on a good start. Anyway, no. Okay. So today we are here to budget out my 5th paycheck for the month of April. Now I do get paid weekly, so typically my months are 4 paychecks per month, but 4 times a year there is an extra week leading to an extra paycheck. So if you get paid bi-weekly, that would be a 3 paycheck month, but for me, since I get paid weekly, it is a 5 paycheck month. So this is our 5th paycheck, and in this community we call it the magic month paycheck. So today we are here to budget that out, and I don't want to take too long, but I do have a couple of, I guess we'll get into those when we get a little bit closer to it, but I do have a couple new envelopes with a new bills category. I have a bills update on one of my house bills, and then I do have some new categories for the baby binder, and I made some envelopes for those. So we'll get into all of that in just a minute, but first things first, we are going to start off with the budget. So I am going to record my income for this pay period. We are looking between the 29th and the 5th. So from my full-time job, I am getting paid $617, and then I am filming this on a Sunday evening. So as of right now, we have from Etsy $395.90, but I will leave that in the bank. But of course, if you have been here for a while on these budget with me's, if I do get an order tonight, but not tomorrow morning, we could be working with a little bit more. If I do get an order first thing Monday morning, we could be working with less. So this is really a preliminary budget. It could be this exact amount. Even if I don't get any more orders, we shall see. But for right now, this is what we are working with. So 617 plus 395 is $1,012. Now, I do have to leave some money out of the budget because I have some auto drafts and subscriptions that are going to be automatically pulling from my account. So I need to make sure that I leave that money in there for when that happens. So every single week, I have $10 transferred over to my Ally high yield savings account. $5 goes towards Christmas. $2 goes towards Manifest, and $3 goes into just a general savings account that once it accumulates a little bit, I reallocate that between some other funds that are in there to kind of bring them up to like even balances, like a 5 or a 10. And then I have $20 that transfers over to my Roth IRA through Charles Schwab. So total that is $30. And then for once a month subscriptions, I have my upgrade to no ads on Amazon Prime, and that's $3.15. And then I have my Cricket Access membership, which is $10.54. So that totals $13.69, but I just rounded up to 14. So 14 plus 30 is $44 that I will be leaving in the bank out of this week's budget. So 1,012 minus 44 gives us a budgetable income of $968. Now, the first thing I typically do is go to my bills. I will say right up front, you guys, this paycheck, although a lot of my bills are covered, so a lot of this is extra income, I need to make sure that I am as intentional with this as I possibly can be, because I do have some things that I need to pay myself back for, and some things that I need to fully fund, and yada yada. So bear with me. I know I would love to be able to just stretch this out as much as possible and stuff all my sinking funds and all my savings and everything. But I just don't know if that's going to work. So we shall see. But I'm going to open up. I'm going to just move things around a little bit. I'm still playing around with my new setup, so just bear with me here. Now, okay, let's see. So mortgage is fully funded, and so is my internet bill, but you guys, little update on this one. We switched internet providers. So we had Spectrum, and then the other day Austin called me and basically said that a Fidium fiber internet salesperson like came to the house, and apparently he had been wanting to switch to fiber internet for a while. I can't tell you any specifics about it, but he scheduled an install for 8 o'clock this morning. So I know a lot of people are like, that's not early, but to get up at 7:45 on a Sunday, for me, it's early. Like, I'm not complaining about it, but I didn't want to get up. I guess, yeah. So I've been up literally, you guys, I am literally still in my PJs. I have been up since then. I not monitored, but like I was downstairs while the guy was installing the Wi-Fi, and then I've been working in my shop nonstop. But right now when I'm filming it, it is 5 of 6. I have nonstop been working in my shop. I literally am doing this because I wanted a little break. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make some dinner. I'm going to edit and schedule this for Monday when you're seeing this, and then I'm going to go right back and package up as many orders as I can. And I know it's going to feel so good, but jeepers creepers, it's just been a long day. Can't complain because it's gratifying and it's work, but still. Anyway, so our internet used to be $85 a month. It is now going down to $45 a month for the first year, I guess, and then after a year it's $65, but that's still less than what we've been paying right now. So that's really exciting. I have 85 in here now, so I might just leave that extra 20 in there to roll over for next month, and then only have to stuff 25 throughout the month. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But for right now, it's at least fully funded. Now, electric there's 65 in my high yield savings account with Ally. I did look it up, and the internet bill is electric bill is $238 and change, so $239. We have one. So let's just, $239. We have 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 2, 10, 20, 30, 45, and $250. So, oops. 250 minus 239 is 11. We do have $65, so let's say $65 in the buffer. That would bring our buffer up to 76. So I would kind of like to bring our buffer up to 100. So that would be $24. What? Yeah, $24. So we're not stuffing mortgage or internet, but I am going to put $24 into electric. So bring our buffer up to 100. If that makes sense, right? 65 plus 11 minus 100. Yeah, 24. Okay, our heat buffer is a little different. We have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85, 95, and 100. I will typically stuff $25 a week just to build up a buffer. I'm going to do 30 today just because why not? This is a buffer that we are going to need. It is our oil and pellets, and it's going to be expensive, and we do split those expenses, Austin and I, but I do want to have a solid buffer in there. So, okay, so for water and sewer, which we must have overstuffed this. Like, I must have gotten ahead, and I just don't remember. I think we might have, like when I initially reallocated. But when it comes to water and sewer, this is quarterly, but it shouldn't. We just paid it, I think, in March. I'm pretty sure we just paid this in March. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. So it shouldn't be due again until the end of June. And it's typically between $200 and $250 total for water and sewer. And we have $175 in the bank, and then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95, 100, and 105. So we have $280 already. So I'm like, that's a lot considering I typically do $25 a week. So we're ahead. So I'm good. I'm just going to do $20 this week just to bring that up to an even 300, and then we'll keep doing $25 a week and we'll just keep growing, I guess. Phone is fully funded, but for my car insurance, I am going to do the typical $30 a week that I stuff in there. And then, you know, it's funny because I did get ahead in Washville when I didn't need to because I forgot we had this extra paycheck. But for Washville, registration, Flow Premium, and Sam's Club, I'm going to do, actually for Washville, registration, and Sam's Club, I'm going to do the same, goodness gracious, $5 that I normally do. But for Flow Premium, you guys, we have 20, 45, 55, and 60 in here, and this is only $85. So we only need $25 left to fund this. And I'm just like, why not? So, I mean, like, again, I could like fully fund Washville and put more towards Sam's Club, put more towards registration, but this week I know that I need to be very intentional with where I put my money. That is something that I'm willing to do. But when we talk about things that I had planned to pay for myself, one thing that I do really want to get for my pets is pet insurance. So that is a category that I'm going to be adding in here. I'm not going to say I've never believed in it, but like I've never looked into it. I've never really been an advocate for pet insurance, but I have been watching Caleb Hammer like religiously. Like I've been watching him consistently. He's on in the background all the time. I was just watching him basically all day while I was working, and he's a huge advocate for pet insurance. And do my pets have like regular vet appointments? No, like they have their annuals and then something here and there comes up. I do use my care credit card for that, and that is interest free for 6 months. So that's my current plan. But like he always says, God forbid something were to happen, I want to be financially prepared for it. And one way to help with that is to make sure that I have insurance for them. So with that being said, I did do a little bit of shopping around for pet insurance. It's looking like Spot Pet Insurance seems to be really highly recommended, and people seem to like it. So I just have my phone off to the side here. But for the 3 dogs, because we do have 3 dogs, with accident and illness coverage. So that's vet exam fees for allergies, stomach issues, things like that, diagnostics, surgery, prescription medications and food, specialized treatments, and then God forbid they like swallow something or like swallow an object or have toxic ingestions, cuts, bites, wounds, insects, stings, broken bones, breed-specific congenital and genetic conditions, dental illnesses, cancer, God forbid, chronic conditions, or orthopedic conditions. And then I think that those like last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I also added on, like they were like an extra $10 a month from the basic coverage or whatever. So in total, every time you add a pet, they take 10% off. So after adding all 3 together, it is $94.64 a month. So $95 a month. And while yes, adding another $100 a month bill isn't necessarily the most financially responsible thing to do right now, especially considering we're paying down debt, it is something that I personally feel I can afford at the moment. Like $25 a week is a lot, but it is something that I am willing to take on to protect the dogs. And I will get 70% reimbursement on their vet bills, their annual vet appointments and everything, which they will have appointments respectively the next 3 months. May, June, and July all have vet appointments for each of that, or one of them. So I don't know, like, if it takes a while to kick in before. I don't even know how it works. If you do understand all that stuff, can you please let me know down below? Because typically, obviously, with like regular human health insurance, the insurance is billed first, and then they reach out, you're sent a bill with what's left over. But when they say reimbursement, that makes me think it's more like I pay the upfront cost for the vet expenses, and then I submit the bill to them, and whatever they are willing to reimburse me for from whatever happened at the vet, they will reimburse me for that. And then I could do with that as I please, but again, obviously I would put that toward the care credit card. So I think that's what happens. But if you understand it more than I do, if I'm wrong, right, whatever, if you could explain down below, that would be a huge help. I really appreciate it. But I am going to put $95. I feel like after there was like a service fee online that was like $1 or something, so it ended up being 96, I think, but I don't quite remember. But I'm gonna do, let's do 98 just to be safe, because I don't remember exactly how much the like online can, like, there's like a service charge basically for paying online. So I don't remember exactly how much that's going to be. So if there's a little bit extra in there, like $1 or $2, I'll just roll that over to next month. But I'm pretty sure there was. So I am going to pay that, and like I'll unstuff it with our unstuffing at the end of the month, and then I'll start the month fresh in May with that payment. So next, just going over to debt. Best Buy needs $750 for the month. That is my plan for pay. Well, I already paid $550, and we were doing $1250. So minus $550. Are we doing $1,300? No, okay, right, because I put an extra $50 in there. So minus the $550 that we already paid is $750. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 54, 50, 70, 95, 10, 30, 45, and $550. Maybe it was 12. Yeah, it was 12, because it was going to be $1,200. But now it is $1,250 because I put that extra amount in there. I spent on it, so I just paid myself back. But minus the $550, minus the... Do we have $550 in here again? 1, 2, 3, 54, 50. Yeah, $550 is $150. So that is what we will be stuffing this week for Best Buy. And then Care Credit right now is currently paid off. But you guys... Oh, so here we go. So I did spend a little bit more on my Care credit card, but I did so from, don't be mad at me, okay? I know you guys gave me a lot of grace that first time. So I went to TJ Maxx because I needed to get some things for Mother's Day. And so I did get things for Mother's Day, which I will, so out of gifts, I already pulled a little bit out because I got, goodness gracious, some flowers for my nanny over this past weekend, yesterday. We were celebrating her birthday, so I got her some flowers. And then, so I pulled that from here. We have 10, 15, and 20 left, which I will be putting towards the credit cards, towards my credit cards. But that's not part of what we already owe, because I do have to adjust that a little bit. I do owe a little bit more now. Because I did get a couple more things for myself, which I need to stop doing. I know that, but I really should just cancel this card. I don't go to TJ's that often, so I'm not tempted. It's not in my town, so I'm not tempted necessarily to spend on it very often, but when I do, I do. So Goodness gracious. So right now I currently owe, so the 94 from before, and then it was 51.13, so 52. So it's 146 minus the 10, 25, 30, and 35 that we have already paid back from that. So in total, we owe 111 now, which is $34 more than what I currently owe, but it's okay because we are going to pay it back this month, and then before any interest accrues, and then we are not going to keep spending on it. So I'm going to add that 111 just because I'm going to throw that back in there, but I am going to just stuff that 111, allocate that 111, pay that back. No interest should accrue, hopefully, and then we'll be good to go. So student loans and, oh goodness, wait. Oh, I didn't even write credit cards. That's car payment. Whoops. Okay. So what I'm going to do, since student loans and paying my brother back are fully funded, I'm going to just use this line to write credit cards, and that will be the 111. And then when it comes to my car payment, we are at 1, 2, 205, 10, 15, 20, and 225. So let's do another 25 there, and that should be good for my bills and my debt from this paycheck. But before we total this up, I do want to put stuff towards my business just so that I don't see a big number and then I'm tempted to put less. And also because I owe myself from here as well. I don't remember. Oh yeah. So that's my sinking funds. But just to get into it real quick, look at that. Look at that envelope. Completely freaking empty. So I'll explain that. But yeah, so for my bills, my business, goodness gracious. So I owe myself for taxes $98. Did I put another one in here? Oh, yeah. I owe myself $98 because, long story short, I had my inspection done for my car and ended up needing work. I needed my rear shocks replaced, whatever the heck that means. So that brought my total up to $480 something. And I had obviously like $380 saved for car care. So I borrowed, it ended up being an extra $98 that I needed. And I did just borrow that from my dad. So I told him that I would just bring him back another $100 the next day, which I did. I just pulled $100 cash from taxes. So I owe myself that $98 plus 30% of our Etsy paycheck. Because of that, I'm going to do 25% this week just because, just to bring it down just a little bit. So 0.28 times 395 is $110. I just did that twice, right, because it was 25. 0.25 times 395 is 98.75. I'm going to bring that down to 95. Well, actually, let's just bring it to 93. So 93 plus 98. So 92. Yeah. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. So 92 plus the 98, right, because it's duh. Okay, so I'm going to do 190 for taxes, 98 of which is paying myself back, and then the rest is towards this week's income. So although we are not necessarily making the most financially responsible decisions in the moment, really not all that matters, but for the sake of this, I'm saying all that really matters is that we are taking the steps to pay it back immediately or as soon as we can or before interest accrues or yada yada. We are paying ourselves back for the money that we spend that we didn't have in the moment. And that's at the end of the day, like after our unstuffing, it's like we didn't actually spend it. We would have extra money to work with and play with if we hadn't made those choices, which is just the consequence that we have to live with, but we are doing the right thing, and that's really all that matters. So shipping is empty. I did pull that out. I'm gonna do $20. Stamps.com. Again, we got a week ahead on this. I'm still just gonna do 5 and we'll stay a week ahead. Supplies, we have 20, 45, 50 in here. I do have a lot of stuff I need to get. I did a little quick inventory and there's like a couple rolls of vellum. I'm going to do another 50 in here to save up for that. And then equipment's going to get another 5 because I'm very, very slowly saving up for a printer. So now at this point, I am going to add all this up. I'm going to hope and pray that it is less than $968. Obviously, if it's more, we make those adjustments, but whatever's left, we can put towards gas and groceries, sinking funds, and savings. So we have 24, 50, 35, 45, 25, 98, 150, 25, and 111. So that total is $528. You already know the one time I don't double check my math, it's going to end up being wrong. So it's always safe. So 528, and then 190, 25, and 55 is 270. So $968 minus 528 minus 270. So we have $170 left. That's not a lot. Obviously, that's not a lot. I would love to have been able to put a lot more toward the baby binder. I said I wanted to get ahead in our savings challenge. I wanted to round up a lot of our savings categories. I want to pay myself back for gifts. I want to keep padding the bridesmaid category. Obviously the dogs are we made 2 grooming appointments for the dogs, so I would have loved to be able to put a lot more towards there. Obviously we have gas and groceries that we need to deal with. So there's a lot. I am going to start with gas and groceries just because that is kind of a priority. At least it should be. I need to be able to eat and get to work and everywhere. So I'm going to do 35 for gas. 5 for miscellaneous, and then let's do let's do 60 for food. So that's 100 total for groceries and gas. I think that should be okay. Now I know that I made specific decisions on amounts that we stuffed last week because I was going to overstuff them this week or finish rounding them out this week, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. So we have 70 left. Let me just make a little note of that on the side here. So we have, for manifest, we have 345 in the bank, 50, 70, 90, 100, 110, 25, 35, and 140. So I was going to do 15 in manifest. New car is just not a priority right now. And I guess getting ahead in challenge is also not a priority. What do we have in garage? 50, 70, 80, 95, 100. I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20. I was going to do 25 in here. I think if we're going to put anything towards savings, it should be emergency and home emergency. We have 370, 385, 95, 400, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 425. 80, 595, 400. 425 in here. Home emergency has 340, 350, 60, 75, 85, 95. So we have 400 in here. So that's a nice round number. I'm not too upset about not stuffing that right now. So we're going to do 25 in here, 25 in here, and 15 in here, which would be 65. So that would leave us with 5 left. I really don't want to do that because I do still... the stuff that I got for Mother's Day for my mom was something that I'm going to make her, but I do still want to get her a card, some flowers, and cook a meal for them. And then we also have, I have 3 grandmothers of my own, and then we have Austin's mom, Austin's grandmother, his great-grandmother, and my best friend is a mom this year, so... I have a lot of moms in my life to account for Mother's Day, so I do want to help with that. I know we do have like a couple weeks to do that, and I could just prioritize it later. But let's think. And we have the baby binder, which I don't think we're going to end up stuffing. So of these, I think the most pressing one would be garage, but... let's do 25 into emergency. And I think that's all for right now. We'll see. But one thing I did want to add in here, this is so random, but I was thinking about, because I have talked about how I want to keep up on my credit score. I just use this old piece of vellum so it looks really bad, but you know, waste not, whatever. So I want to start keeping track of my credit score every month just through like Credit Karma. So I'm thinking during our bill exchanges when we're going to be updating like my Roth IRA. So I might as well also track my credit score progress. I'm a little irritated because it like basically a month after. And again, if you understand how this works more than I do, please explain in the comments. But when I paid off one credit card and I paid off 2 credit cards, right? I closed one of them, and it literally, Credit Karma was like, it was checked 3 days ago, and it was like 2 or 3 weeks before it was checked that I had paid those off, and it still came back that they were at like 99% usage. One of them was even closed completely. So I disputed that one, and it was approved, and it reflected in my account, and my credit score went up a couple points. But it still says that my Care credit card and my TJ Maxx credit card are at 99% usage, which they're obviously not. Care credit is at 0 balance, and TJ's only has this like 111 balance right now, and it wasn't even that when it checked, and we're paying that off, but the limit is 1,400, so it's definitely not at 99% usage. So I'm just wondering, I disputed both of those because I'm like, what the heck, like update it. So we'll see, but I do want to keep track of this. So if my credit score isn't amazing the next time I mean, it was 670 when I last checked, which isn't great, but I'm working on repairing it by paying down these credit cards. So I'm going to start keeping track of it monthly, and we'll see what progress we can make. But yeah, I'm excited to do that too, because I want to be transparent, and I want to like kind of accountability as well, have that grow a little bit. So we have $45 left. Sinking funds wise, I mean, I should probably just put that all into gifts. We have 100, 120, 30, 45, 55, and 160 for the dogs. I mean, both of their grooms, each of their grooms is probably going to be about $85. So after tip, it'll be around 100. Austin and I split those both, but one is in May and one is in June. So we at least have this 100 in here. I kind of wanted to just fully fund those as well, but I obviously can't. So, Austin, medical, I got to refund car care as well. Car care and gifts. Oh goodness, there's so many priorities in here for savings. But I think the most time-sensitive thing in here right now is gifts, because Mother's Day is in a couple weeks. Let's do 30, and then I'm gonna do my very best next week, because it's on the 11th. So we still have the first week of May to stuff this. And I'm just going to try to have self-control and budget as much as I can towards that. But the bridesmaid is also coming up, and the bachelorette party is coming up. Let's put 10 into car care just to try to bring that up just a little bit. We're definitely not doing garage, emergency, or baby because we have $5 left. So we're not doing personal, auntie, Austin, or medical. So kind of my last options are with dogs, Christmas, household, and bridesmaid. And you know what? $5 in bridesmaid. How much do we have in here? I know every dollar adds up, but like how much of a dent is $5 going to make if it could be more impactful in a different category? 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 600, 610, and 615. So that's 615 minus. So that's about $430 for the bachelorette trip, plus my shoes. We're getting there. Because the wedding itself isn't until August, so I just really need to be able to fund the bachelorette trip in June, and then the bridal party in the bridal shower in July, and then the August for the wedding. So I think I'm okay for bridesmaid right now. Household too, I think it's okay. 10, 20, 35, 40. It could be better than 50, but I'm okay with it for this week. I mean, I don't think that I'm going to need $50 worth of things this week. So Christmas and dogs. What do we have for Christmas? 175, which is probably more now because of the Ally transfers. We'll update that on Sunday. 20, 40, 55, 65, 75, and 80. So we have 255 in Christmas. I'm tempted to be like, it's so far away, so just do the dogs. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, remember I said at the beginning, I need to be super intentional with this. It would have been so easy to just not get pet insurance and to have that extra $98 to float around, or, you know, not pay back the credit card, or not account for shipping and supply costs and everything. But I need to be specific with intentional with where I put my money. So let's just make sure we did all of this right. So that is 95, 10, 15, 45, and 50. And then 25 for savings. So with this extra paycheck, 528, 270, 100, 25, and 95. Oh, that's over. Did I not subtract something? Uh-oh, did I not subtract supplies? 50? Oh, I wrote 50 for household. It was nothing, right? I put the total there. Okay. Goodness gracious, sorry. What the heck? So, it's not $95 in our sinking funds. As you can see, I just get distracted. So 30, 40, and 45. So let's try that again. So 1012 minus 44 is 968 minus 100 minus 528 minus 270 minus 45 and 25. That is $0 remaining, which gives us our zero-based budget, meaning that every single dollar has been assigned a job. It is a role to play in this coming week's budget, and we have no money left unaccounted for. So that is how I budget my income, especially for an odd week, one that's not typical for, you know, my bills and everything. But yeah, so check back in on Tuesday, which for you will be tomorrow for Cash Stuffing Tuesday for my full-time paycheck. And then Etsy's Thankful Thursday paycheck cash stuffing will be on Thursday. And then I think, should I do Saturday or Sunday for the bill exchange? I usually do Sundays, so I'll probably end up doing Sundays, but let me know if you like hate that idea and you need it to be on Saturday. But yeah, I'll do our bill exchange to completely wrap up the month of April, and then the next week we will start fresh for May. So with all that being said, you guys, thank you so much for sticking around with me, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day, week, month, year, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.